I was talking with a woman the other day who works at the supermarket, and she was working, doing her job, running the groceries through that I was buying. And she made me think about this video that I'm doing, which is geared towards people who work in the food industry and who have to work with food, taste food, smell food all day. And there's one fundamental. Who gives a shit? You just don't do certain things anymore. Okay? It goes against the program. If you can't have that attitude, then don't snake diet. But here's the biggest fundamental that I can give to you is for anything you want to do. Here it is. Behave as if. Now, what does that mean? When I wanted to become better as a line cook and get a management position, I began to behave as if I was the boss. Would the boss do this? And if the boss wouldn't do that, then I wouldn't do it. You get what I'm saying? If you begin to behave as if on your job, you will begin to be noticed by the people who can help move you in the direction you want to move in, right? When I started snake dieting, I behaved as if I were Cole Robinson. I tried to think like Cole Robinson. And eventually, very quickly actually, I began to figure out what I needed to do. Plus, I was talking with Cole Robinson because he was my coach. And I didn't behave as if I were anybody else. I took on his persona. And I got the results that I was supposed to get. Now, did I get ripped? Nope. But how many of you can say that you've lost over 500 pounds in a year and kept off 165 of them? How many of you have done that? Through the snake diet method. See, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. When I wanted to go to medical school but wasn't mature enough, one of my biology professors said to me, I've never met anybody who didn't want to get into med school who didn't get into med school. Basically, how bad do you want it, right? So, the woman at the checkout counter, my advice to her, because she disclosed to me that she was giving veganism a try. And I said, well, why are you doing that? And she said, because I don't want to be the fat mom at my son's wedding. I said, okay, that's understandable. And I said, well, if you get tired of that, then here's my information. And I wrote down my information. I wrote down Cole's information so she could find us on YouTube. And I was thinking about her today. I told her, you know, give me a shout on one of my videos if you want, and maybe we can work together. But I was thinking about if you work in the food industry, how would you navigate the snake diet? Well, here's what you would do. First, you have your mind made up. Okay? If you have your mind made up, you're going to find your way through it. But here's some suggestions. If you have to taste your food and you can't get somebody to taste it for you, you do like this one chef I used to work for. He was rail skinny. And he would, if he had to test something, that's how he would test it. Now, I don't care what kind of fasting regimen you're on. You're not going to ruin any sort of snake juice fast or dry fast by tasting as much food that can fit on the head of a pen. You're not gonna, if you have to taste a piece of meat or potato or something, right? And it's as big as my thumbnail, that's enough for you to get the flavor and to understand how you need to adjust it with seasoning or whatnot. And if you have to take another one, that's enough too. Now, that's enough to drive you crazy, I know, but if your mind's made up, it won't bother you. Now, directly for the woman who's checking me out, she's running people's food all day. That's gotta drive her crazy. But here's what you do to take your mind off of that. Look at the people who are incredibly obese. Watch what they eat. Look at the people who are fit and trim. Watch what they eat. I bet you it's two different conveyor belts of food. Eat the conveyor belt. Pick from the conveyor belt of food that's being loaded up by the person with the body type that you want. And ask questions. People love to talk about themselves. Say, hey, how often do you work out? And you'll find out who really has to work for it. And who can eat a chocolate cake a day and not have to worry about it. You understand? You just have to ask questions. It could be just as simple as, wow, do you work out a lot, man? You look like you work out a lot. Well, yeah, and here's a news flash for you. Here's something that I'm figuring out. I could kill myself sometimes just for being so freaking dense. Look, very few people have a naturally lean, ripped body. Those who do, they have to work their freaking nuts off or their freaking ovaries off for it. And you're not going to get around that. I want to be 208 pounds instead of 250 by the middle of summer. Is that going to happen by me sitting back and wishing for it? You can wish in one hand, shit in the other. Which one are you going to get more of? Okay, that's the message for today. Find your way directly through. Quit trying to avoid what you have to do. Behave as if you are already the person that you want to be. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening. Bye.